Coinbase stock is up 305% in 1 year. It's gone up really fast. And frankly, it's been a pleasant surprise for me. I owned and invested about $10,000 in Coinbase, and I am up big on that investment. It went from being a smaller position in my portfolio to being a mid-sized position in my portfolio. I own these shares. I'm not going to sell them. I also own Bitcoin and Ethereum coins, and I'm not going to sell those either. Overall, it's not a big part of my portfolio, but I do believe in Coinbase and I do believe in Bitcoin and Ethereum. I think they have a future, and I can't tell you the exact details of that future. Nobody can. Nobody can tell you the future about anything, including artificial intelligence, which is pretty exciting and driving a lot of stocks. We're not quite sure what it's going to be and who the winners and the losers are going to be. In this video, I wanted to share with you why I'm a Coinbase investor and why I continue to have this in my portfolio. My point of view is I'm a value investor. Most of my investments are with companies that are profitable, generate free cash flow, in many cases pay a dividend, and in many cases are growing. I believe in these companies. I believe they have a good future and they have good balance sheets. So why is a value investor in buying Coinbase and buying Bitcoins and Ethereum coins? It's diversification. It's the same reason a lot of investors own gold. Gold is a complete hedge against the stock market and other things. It's a store of value that when everything else fails, gold will always be around. It's been around for thousands of years. Gold has been a stored value for kings, different governments. The US government holds a lot of gold. And there's a good reason why gold is an asset that a lot of people hold. I like storing my value as a hedge in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Coinbase. And the reason for it is that I believe that we already live in a digital world, and now we have digital currencies. These currencies are made to work in the new world. Bitcoin was created by a technology person and really appreciated by a lot of technologists. Gold, on the other hand, it was not created, it was found thousands of years ago, appreciated, and ever since has been a valuable asset. Whereas cryptocurrencies, as well as Coinbase, are really appreciated, I think, by a very small fraction of people in the world, but it's really catching on. And you could see how it caught on in El Salvador, where some of these small countries, they have a trouble with their own currency. It gets devalued very fast. So for a long time, they used the US dollar as the currency that they wanted to peg their economy on. Well, move over US dollar. The cryptocurrency industry is allowing countries like El Salvador to use Bitcoin as its currency for the government. And although it's been volatile, it's really working out for El Salvador if you look at it. It's being looked at by other countries in Africa and other economies where they have a lot of inflation and their currency really loses value quickly. Rather than pegging against the US dollar, they're beginning to use the Bitcoin as a more stable way of running their economies, which is going to put a lot of demand on Bitcoin if governments begin to use it as a currency. So there's a lot of use cases for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and that's really driving demand for Coinbase. Now, Coinbase is a profitable, free cash flow generating company. And I'm going to show you the fundamentals behind Coinbase. I'm also going to show you the performance. I'm going to value the company and share with you where I think the value of the company is using my techniques that I believe are in a value investor's toolbox. Valuing companies based on free cash flow, valuing companies on earnings per share. And I'll share that with you. I'll also share with you what I plan to do with my shares, whether I'm going to buy more shares, hold, or sell my shares in Coinbase. Coinbase stock is up 305%, which is incredible. And it's great to see the company's stock go up. My investing story on the stock is I really believed in the company and it's ahead of its fundamentals, but it really has a very prosperous future, a very incredible future if all things come together for it. Now, being up 305% in most cases would catch a lot of attention, but it is happening during the AI hype. So you're seeing stocks like NVIDIA really take a lot of attention. So Coinbase has somewhat quietly been just performing great, which is interesting. The company has a market cap of $64 billion. and revenue of 3.1 billion. So you're paying 21 times revenue for the company. It's a high growth company. Top line revenue is growing very fast. So that's very good. They're profitable, which is very good for a young company. And their earnings, their forward PE is very high. But again, they're profitable at a young stage in the company's history. You think about Coinbase's addressable market, it's massive. You're seeing governments adopt Bitcoin. You're seeing a lot of institutional investors come into the space in the form of ETFs. So you're seeing this space really expand and the addressable market becomes massive for a Coinbase. You're also seeing Robinhood, which is a different stock, rally because they also sell cryptocurrencies. So this space is really expanding, and a forward PE of 176 is extremely high. I'm a value investor. So the company will have to grow into that PE. Analysts do cover the stock, but they believe that the stock is being overpriced. It's being sold at a premium currently. Year to date, the company's doing excellent, up 53%. So it's just been a winner. It was a winner for 2023. And so far in 2024, it's an absolute winner for me. So this stock is volatile. It has more than 3 times the volatility as the S&P. It's at 3.37 as a beta. And the stock has really moved over the last year. Short selling activity, only 4.67% of shares are shorted, which is good to see. If a high flying stock like this is a lot of hype without a lot of substance behind it, you usually see the short sellers enter a stock and begin to expect that the stock price is going to fall. But not in this case. I think the amount of shorted shares is fairly low, especially for a young company. Multiple analysts cover Coinbase, but it's really hard to do a price target on a company that's moving up so fast in stock price and has a really young business. So the average price target for the company is $147, but the stock price right now is $265. So you can see how the price target is way underwater. The number of analysts covering it, it's a pretty good number of analysts to cover it. Most of them are buy or strong buy. A lot of holders out there. I'd probably be in the holder camp. But if you look at the future profitability of the company, the earnings per share are expected to be profitable. So that's very good. And the revenue looks like, although it's going to be volatile, it's going to grow over the next 4 to 5 years. I valued Coinbase, and I believe the stock price has really gotten ahead of itself. I value the company's stock at roughly $112 per share using earnings per share as well as free cash flows and discounting those free cash flows to today's value. The market's trading this stock at $265 a share. So it's about a 58% premium on the stock. They do have free cash flow, which is great for a young company. There's some companies that go 10 years plus and they're just negative cash flow companies, and they get valued pretty high at times. And some companies are unprofitable for a long time. And Coinbase is both profitable and generates free cash flow. So I really like that about them. It is a future play, meaning we're not quite sure how big the cryptocurrency industry is going to be, and an exchange, how valuable is an exchange going to be. These guys could take over a good portion of the investing volumes out there, and they could also merge with another brokerage to really increase the market penetration and the capture of market share for cryptocurrencies as well as new alternative investments. So it is a future play, and my value of the company is well below the current stock price. So I will make my decision using this information, but also using the overall appreciation of the company and how I believe in the company. So should I buy more shares in Coinbase, hold my shares, or sell my shares in Coinbase? I make that decision based on 3 general areas. First, it's all about the company. Do I believe in their future? Do I think the company is in an industry I want to be in? Do I believe in their management team? And the answer for all 3 is yes. And it's a strong yes. I do believe the cryptocurrency industry has a large addressable market that is expanding. It continues to get larger and larger. And Coinbase is going to benefit from that expanding total addressable market. Their management team is excellent. They are excellent in every way. They are publicly traded. They are only publicly traded cryptocurrency exchange in the United States. And that means a lot. It means a lot to investors that want to buy cryptocurrencies, knowing that a publicly traded company has to provide their financial statements every quarter. That's the reason why I became a Coinbase account holder and why I transact on Coinbase. I'm sure a lot of conservative investors will feel the same way. The balance sheet is a second area. Coinbase has more cash than they do debt. It's very hard to go bankrupt when you have a lot of cash on the balance sheet and no debt. And these guys have no debt. It's also hard to go bankrupt when you're generating free cash flow and you have a positive cash to debt ratio. So Coinbase has got a lot of years ahead of it. And if it can continue to grow, that balance sheet is going to be a very sound balance sheet to enable them to continue to grow without them having to sell off or really constrict their growth. Last area is discount, and there's no discount available on Coinbase. The investing is about looking at the future, whether it's a very conservative investment or it's a very high growth, risky investment. Coinbase is more in the risky category, and they offer no discount. And therefore, I'm going to hold my shares of Coinbase. I'm not putting any additional capital into Coinbase. My position grew from being a small position to being a medium-sized position. It's a riskier company. I own other risky companies, for example, Robinhood, Ternium, which is a metals mining and metals producer, and other stocks like StoneCo down in Brazil. And they're really paying off, this year and last year. But they had a really rough 2022. If you go back to 2022, Coinbase, as well as all those other risky stocks, really took a hit. And that's what could happen to Coinbase if we have another pullback or we have another bear market where stocks go down in general at very high percentages. So therefore, I'm going to hold my shares in Coinbase and just continue to watch the company, examine it every quarter, at least once a quarter, probably twice a quarter. And we'll see where the company goes. I'm really excited to see how fast this market grows, the adoption rate of ETFs, and all the other things that are happening in the cryptocurrency industry. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you found it interesting. Good luck investing in 2024.